Welcome back, fools, to another episode of Beau avoids your stank ass by hiding out of Japan in intent. I've been having tons of audio issues recently, so I apologise for the quality of the sound. While the seafront view of Sakurajima was beautiful, I'd decided to turn inland for today and tackle my first big hill. For now though, I would just enjoy Kagoshima's flat back roads. So in no way am I here to challenge myself physically. I know how unfit I am. At one point, I would have said I was quite fit, but that point is no longer. What I hope this trip does do is restore me to my arguably former glory. Right now, I'm feeling this. This is just the start. That's what we need. Pavement. Safety. I've gone around the corner of the hill and uncovered more hill. Oh. Now it's a bit open. Seems I got lucky. The wind has turned around, it's right behind me. Fuck, I'm going at pace now. Whoo! Up in fourth gear. Look at this, look at the speed. 12 kilometers per hour. Never seen somebody move so fast. Class. What a view. This one, but at least it looks short. One thing I learned the hard way about Japan's tunnels, they're freaking cold. The temperature difference is absolutely insane. And even coming out the other side, unfortunately the tunnel signifies that you're at the top of the hill. So you're now going downhill, and it's just wind resistance the whole way. Wind resistance, wind chill. Either way, I was freezing my tits off. Luckily, once I got down to the bottom and got a little bit lost, it warmed right up again, and walking through these wooded trees towards the campsite, I was just happy to stick my head down somewhere. I pretty much guessed for this campsite, and I think I struck gold. So after walking around the park and marvelling at the lakes, I figured it was finally time to spend my first night in a tent in Japan.
It's cold. Didn't get a great night's sleep. Woke up I think 3 times. Each time getting no more than about 2 to 3 hours kip. It's just too cold. Put my towel underneath my inflatable mat, and then the sleeping bag itself's rated for 5 degrees. I'm calling bullshit on that because it was according to AccuWeather it got down to 6 degrees last night, but felt like too. And then on top of that, I've also got this inner liner as well. And yeah, definitely cold. The good news is, according to the forecast, this is probably going to be the coldest night of the trip. So I'm actually kind of happy in a way that my gear is pretty much going to be right, I think. Because at the end of the day, I'm heading south and it's heading into summer. So fingers crossed every night from this night onwards will be warmer. We'll see. Anyway, time to get moving.
Remind me not to camp at the bottom of a fucking big hill. Just in a holding pattern in a car park halfway up, catching my breath. Whew. That was a beautiful campsite though, if a little expensive. Pretty sure I got the Gaijin price. I could have argued it, but decided against it. And to be fair, most of the other people there were glamping by the looks of it. So perhaps it's just a bit of an upper class campsite. Let's hit this hill again. Oh, immediate first gear. This is shocking. Right, maybe I'll spit further than halfway. Looks like I'm basically at the top. Although, this is Japan. You kind of never reach the top. There's always a new top just down the road.
Clearly I spoke too soon, because the rest of the day was flat. Now that the tight confines of Kagoshima's backroads had become a distant memory, I decided to stop and just marvel at the amazing landscape. Once again, I found myself cycling towards a volcano. They seem to just leave these things laying around down here. Despite this, I had noticed volcano shelters scattered pretty much everywhere along my route. Reassuring, but at the same time an ever-present reminder of Japan's volatile nature. Turning north again, I left Kaimendake behind me and headed towards Lake Ikeda, where it would turn out I would find a campsite for 300 yen a night, and for an extra 200 would even get a hot shower. Once more, it looked like I'd be striking gold. And I'll leave it at that. Join me again for the next episode, where hopefully I will make it all the way down to Cape Sata before turning around and coming back up. Thanks.